sort of interesting to do this following Patrick and Bob, because they both touched on principles of leadership in their talks. Let me start by asking, who can name a leader that you think of off the top of your head? Tana?
When I was working at Appeal Communications, the president, he always had a great vision and leadership skills that demonstrated.
Anybody else? Caroline?
President Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay. Who can name an inspiring manager? Okay, I think I've made my point. I can sit down now. There are two different skill sets here. But leadership, I would submit, is the more important one. There are a couple of things that I've been able to figure out in thinking about this topic in detail. First of all leadership is local. Tip O'Neill used to say all politics is local. But all leadership is local. Even if you are what's called a manager of managers, you have a bunch of people who report to you who manage other people, you lead by having them reflect your vision, your goals. And all management is one-on-one. You inspire those people who you're leading one-to-one. Even if you're talking to a large group of people, it's making that connection to one person in the audience, to another person in the audience, that allows you to lead. In my career managing projects, I used to always tell the teams that I was building, and the teams I was leading, that I had two responsibilities. My first responsibility was to act as an umbrella, to keep the crap from my managers from falling on their heads. And my second responsibility was to stay out of their way so that they could get done the goals that we had set together. Now, in the introduction, Leah talked about weasels versus kangaroos. And that's a reasonable analogy. It is certainly the case that I could illustrate the entirety of the long talk I'm going to give tomorrow completely with Dilbert cartoons about the pointy-haired boss. Some of us have lived in that environment. But a really good leader is less like a weasel, less like the pointy-haired boss, and more like a kangaroo. That kind of leader is nurturing, will hold you, will help grow the team, will inspire you to do your best. And that happens by empathy, by caring about the people in your team, by building with them shared goals and a shared idea of where the team is going. Now, sometimes that means the leader's going to take a detour. And I've done that a number of times myself, where I will set the team on its goal, and I will go off and do research for the next problem they're going to hit. And I will meet them at the end of the woods with a solution to a problem they didn't know they had. That's a trick called servant leadership, where my goal is not to manage the team. My goal is to be there as a servant for our shared goals. And if you can do that as a leader, the whole team succeeds. And Patrick made the analogy that their success is your success. I'd put it the other way around. You're leading them to a greater success for the whole organization. Now, Toastmaster.
Mr. Tanner, may I have 90 seconds on the clock, please?
Thank you. And she did it to me. I said, their success is my success, that's the orientation. So I get that, yeah.
I was giving you short shrift or whatever.
Yeah. But no, I like the way you were more elegant. Oops.